Hey everyone. Welcome to my panel. This is for all of you guys who are for the Anthro Northwest. And so here I am presented with a couple really cool furs that I think would be really good with going over identity. We've got Munchkin and Bullion. Yeah, so anyway, so I just thought this would be like just a really open discussion, and we're just gonna have a little bit of fun and inform you guys about the identity of the furry fandom. So for all of you furs, non-furs, this would just be a very great opportunity to learn about what it means for identity. So I'll give the floor to you two. So you can pipe up whenever you want for what does it mean to identify as a furry?
Okay, well, I guess, well, I don't know. Did you want to start first or should I just go? Or? Go ahead. Okay, first of all, Munchkin is my name. Some of you, the furs are maybe know me or not, but I live in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada here. The furry fandom it is unique here because we're still a really remote, like we're a very small group in this, in Canada. Furries are loved. They just think we are the amazing characters. Furries, to me, it's like I got into it different than most people. A lot of people found the furry fandom by watching, because they look for the love of anthropomorphic art. You're online, you watch a Disney movie, you see Robin Hood, like that's when I was little, that was kind of the era, and a few other cartoons, Zootopia nowadays. And you see these things and these characters, and this is so cool. And then you kind of think of cosplay. People are dressed as Star Wars characters, or like witches, goblins, Superman, things like this. And hey, I could be Nick Wilde. I could be these other characters. I could be Robin Hood. I could be anyone I want. And to some, it's a cosplay. So a lot of people see this as a cosplay. That's how I got into it too. So for me, being a furry, an identity of a furry was very easy to come out as, because like I started off like with mascotting, with cosplay, and I was all these like characters throughout for years, for 10 years, working for like businesses and building costumes before I even knew about furries. I didn't even know furries existed. Few people talked about it, and then the more I got into it, it's like it's such a deeper meaning. To be a furry is not just putting on a costume. This is who we are inside. It allows a person to express themselves freely. I'm not, as a mascot, I'm representing Corporation XYZ. I have to perform to these standards and stuff. In a cosplay outfit, you wear them at a Comic-Con or special events only. That's it. Like if you walk around as a stormtrooper at Walmart, well, nowadays you get away with it with COVID, but normally they look at you funny. You don't do this. But as furries, we do this as we're friendships, we're family. We put these things on to unite one another. The whole fandom I found when I first got into it, I started off at the mascot side. You put these things on to do events for charity. That's it. And then people gave me heck. There's more to the furry fandom than this. There is? What is it? So I had to learn. I didn't know. To me, I didn't like. And then the more I got into it, is like, wow, yeah, it is a deeper meaning. You found out, like I started off as Prairie Dog, which was a kind of a dog character because I like dogs. And then I put the costume on. It wasn't me. Like I ran around and I did my stuff. I wore dinosaurs sometimes and other characters, but it wasn't who I was inside. And then Munchkin kind of got created, and because I based a little bit the fandom or your persona should be based on your inner feelings, how you feel about yourself, your interests, your style. If you're like Munchkin is a cat fox hybrid, and how I found with this, I'm a little more independent, a little more, but also mischievous, like a fox would do. But there's a lot of attributes and characters of the animal itself I find I attribute to. And so when I made this character and you put it on, it's like, oh, I just connected. I just wanted to be this character, and I don't want to take it off. Munchkin I find becomes who I want to be. It helps me express myself. Normally, I won't won't go on stage. I won't act silly. I'm very more conservative. I don't talk as much. Like I find this gives me comfort. This gives me a security that I can actually freely express who I am. I can do things like this. If I go up to somebody and I give them a hug like this, you do this in human form, they're like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, no, go away. But we're cute, furry animals. So it's like, I can do things that normally you don't do as a human. You, as an animal, I can go outside and howl, bark, and make noises like, and people, oh, that's cute. And but you do it in a human form, you're like, no. So I found the whole furry identity. It just allowed me to be who I want to be inside freely, without any issues, worrying about what Joe Blow says, neighbor says, anybody else says. My neighbors all know I dress like this. Family knows who I dress like this. And to be quite honest with everybody, when you're coming out as a furry, a good friend of mine out in Moose Jaw, he told me this story 20 years ago. When you're getting into, when you want to express and tell, like you don't want to hide anything. If you want to come out as a furry, and you want to say you're furry, be open about it. Be honest to say, okay, I'm a furry, and this is what I do. I'm not, like I said, I want to help one another. I want to build our community. I want to work with people. I want to help build, help build suits, costumes, unite a family, and grow the community in a really positive manner. And it shows. People love this idea. They see this concept, and yeah, but you keep it positive and fun. And then if somebody else says, hey, did you hear that Mike over there is a furry? Well, yeah, no kidding. Like, yeah, he's on Facebook. He says Twitter. Like, he mentions it point blank. If you're honest and open, everybody, if you try and hide it, believe me, your family knows you're a furry. So and it's nothing wrong with it. Being a furry is, like, say, it's just a love of anthropomorphic characters. You like Nick Wilde. You want to be Judy Hopps from Zootopia. If you love these characters, that's all it is. You want to be and express yourself in a very unique way. Like, look at your character. It's very unique, but it expresses who you are. This is who you see yourself as, and you'd love to be this. Like, I would love to be some way to change my DNA to actually turn into this. This would be like a little magic switch, click, and I'm Munchkin, and I'd be for real. This would be a dream, but maybe in another lifetime you'll feel in another planet, maybe, but not here. This isn't gonna work. But yeah, it's just more. The whole furry identity is just to freely express yourself, who you are inside, to others, and it's not the costume. Like, to us, we wear these costumes because we find it's an easier way as a visual representation of who we are. If I just have like a badge, and sometimes you won't see it, like I said, only what's an icon? Maybe 20% of all furries actually dress up, and statistically wise, it's not very many because these things are expensive. So what you do is, like for us, I find by dressing up, I can actually visually represent to others, this is who I want to be. So this is like, but you don't need a fursuit to be a furry at all. Not at all. Most, like I said, vast majority, 3/4 or 80% of them, of furries, don't have fursuits. I would say try and get something furry, get some ears, get a tail, maybe get some paws, maybe slowly build up your thing, but do a lot of research to see who you want to be inside. And just don't go online and buy the first cheapest thing you can find, because you end up wearing it for a while, throwing it out, and then trying to find your representation of who you are. Like how did you end up becoming like Bullion? How did you end up becoming a bull? Like, why not a dog or a cat or something? Or
like, for myself, my name's Bullion. I'm from Humboldt, Saskatchewan area, and basically I found the fandom around my teens. Kind of lost a little bit of the fandom early 20s, and then just kind of grew back towards the fandom. Took me quite a number of years to go and find the local fandom. Basically, it was the stateside fandom I found at first, but I had looked at your canines, your classic felines, dragons, etc., your generic characters, but having grown up on a farm whenever I was younger, through teens till when I moved out, raising cattle, I always had this connection back to cattle, bovines, and especially bulls. At times I've been bullheaded and a bit of a cannibal.
Furries are proud. we do like our hamburgers and pizza.
But it took me quite a number of years actually even to go and figure out what do I want to name Bullion. It wasn't until actually finding a couple of friends, okay, I'm looking, it had to have the word bull in it somewhere. And it also had to connect basically my passion with technology. And for a number of years, Bullion was actually nameless until all of a sudden somebody suggested, what about the pun name, Bullion?
Yeah.
We all love our puns.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. And like you said, the beauty of the fandom is we all have a little bit that we put into it. You with the technology. Like a lot of stuff. He starts talking, it's way over my head. Like I'm past that generation. Like it's like, hey, I'm used to the 1980s, 90s technology. You're like, oh my God, but we each have a way of expressing. Some are musicians, and they put that beauty into the furry fandom. You put the technology, the lights, the digital, the computers, the science into the furry fandom. Others, yourself, you're a journalist. You put the journalism back into the fandom. So we all, and that's just a tip of the iceberg. When you're at a convention, you get to meet people from all walks of life. You can't put a stereotypical image on. Somebody says, "What's a furry?" Well, we're everybody. Like we're all like furries are amazing because it's basically the general gist of the identity of a furry is it's just like I said, the love of anthropomorphics. That's the basic, generalized, very, very general, and it expands massively. Like there's artists that are musicians that are in costume or furries. They don't have to be in costume, but they're furries that perform incredible music. There's actors, there's businessmen, doctors, lawyers, there are people from all walks. I was an engineer, and that's what I did for a living. But sadly, I didn't find the furry fandom until years and years later. I wish I would have found it 20 years earlier. I'd have been involved in some of the earlier fur cons. It'd have been fun. I still found it, so that was the main thing. But like Bullion said, it's growing the community through education. Yes. Like what you're doing now by doing a journalistic report with, like, again, and this is going to be played at Anthro Northwest Virtual Con here in December here. This will be a way of explaining what furries are and that we do exist. And it's hard, like if you're in a community and you're in a small town and you're looking at this stuff and you don't know where your fur community is, things like Twitter, Google, Facebook, you can just type in your name of your town and then type in fur and you'll find something or somebody that will connect to it and you'll be able to find a community. And like I'd say branch out, contact them. We also have a lot of younger furries in the group, the under 18, 16, 15. They've contacted me and I've always invited, whenever I had a fur meet, I've always invited their parents. I says, please, I would love you to come to these things. We're having we're going to do a mall meet. We're going to be going out. I'll have like at my place in the city here or at Fur Camp. I'll do we'll have a barbecue burger thing, whatever. Everybody potluck, bring what you want. And I'll say, yeah, and the parents says, well, we don't know our daughters. Like says, or the son is 14, 15 years old. I says, oh no, please come. I want you to come along and I want to show you what the fandom is. There's nothing to be scared of. We're just a group of enthusiastic, we're like a sports fan. We go out and like if you have your favorite football team, you paint your face. Like here in Saskatchewan, we have a team called Saskatchewan Roughriders. And people wear, like they take a watermelon, you cut it out, you put it on top of your head, you paint your face green, you put all this riders paraphernalia on here, and you're like cheering it on, and when you look at it, like, what is this? But you're representing, or you're doing your own little part as a fan to show love and expression in that sport. And like for us, this is our way of being a fan, expressing ourselves in this love of the sport of being like some of us are artists will sit there and draw this amazing picture that I still blown away at the art community, and it's like the creativity too in like I said, in this community is off the scale. There is no community out there in the cosplay, mascotting, anywhere a group you could be that has the variety, the beauty of it, like from electronics to art to robotics to like even costume design. Nobody like the fandom is untouchable in all levels of its uniqueness, its creativity. We're not. I get this sometimes when I started doing this. You go to a Comic-Con, you're dressed as Munchkin, and they come up to you and says, "Oh, are you Firefox?" And you're, "What? Who? Firefox? No, I'm Munchkin." And they're scratching their head like, "Who? Like what game is that? I want to play that game." Like, no, I'm not a game. This is my own creation. And a lot of people, they look at it like, no, you gotta be, you have to represent something. And no, like, don't you want to be individual? And that's, again, the furry fandom is about being individual. Express yourself individually. I don't want anything else to look like me. When I go to a con, Munchkin stands out. He walks out and you can go like, oh, there he's over there. And like you see videos, and that's what you want to be. You want to show yourself, like, why do people dye their hair? Why do they get a tattoo? It's to be who you want to be, to express yourself freely, safely. And we live, thank goodness, we live in a part of the world, the United States and Canada, like most of the world, we're very free to be who we want to be. We're very lucky, and everybody be very thankful.
We're allowed to express our individuality.
Yes.
As well as at the same time, as you're building your identity and everything, let that individual identity individual identity grow organically. I know, starting with bullying and everything, I originally was thinking of making bullying a non-verbal persona.
Well, you can. Lots do. Yeah. Lots of people do. They go by the strictly like a mascot role. You don't speak. Yes. They don't never get seen without the head on. You don't do anything. I guess you've got to keep the certain. But that's their choice.
Yeah. But over time, it was no. I want to have bullying have that voice. Have him grow. Humboldt is a very, very small community. I'm currently was the original furry up there. However, I've been able to get out, grow people. I've talked to various groups around my community to go and make sure I've got permission to go out and interact and help grow and say, okay, yes, you may be saying in the closet, so on, not sure about whether or not to come out to let other people know that this is who I am. And I've gone to the Comic-Con solo there, and I've had little kids coming up.
Oh yeah.
They thought of me more as Ferdinand. But you play that, you're expressing yourself, and you're not playing. It gets to a point where you're not playing a character anymore. You're playing who you always felt to be.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just another form of, like I said, like I mentioned at the start of the interview, a couple times again with the Comic-Con stuff, they'd want me to go on stage and talk about this stuff. I never would. I just like, no, I'm good, I'm okay. But I always wanted to. There was part of me inside that wants to be more expression, to do stuff, but I was always like a little more nervous, a little like it's intimidated. You walk in front of all these people, but I found when I was mascotting, I could go in front of like at a football game. I'd be on a camera with CTV across the country with 30,000 people in the stands, and I'm going nuts out on the field, and I feed on that energy. It was like, oh my God, I want to do this, but I want to do it more, but I can't because you're limited as if you're a mascot or something like this. You're limited by these certain events and that are done. Whereas being a furry, I can do this anytime. I want to walk my dog. I put this thing on and I walk around the street, and people come up to you, they're getting pictures. They're like, why are you doing this? And I says, It's fun. It says, are you like? Says, I see you smiling right now. Did you like this? He says, this is amazing. This made my day. I was having a bad day, and I seen this pink and green fox walking by me. Like, what is this? And he ran up and had to get pictures. Or like when I'm out shopping now because of COVID, we have to wear a mask. And well, I'm wearing gloves, mask of full coverage, and I've actually got a mask underneath or balaclava underneath this, so you got double protection. So we're staying safe, everybody. But I'll go out shopping like this, and kids are they're following you around. Parents are getting pictures with you. People come up to you, they want to get photos. And I said at the end of the day, he says, "Thank you. You made my day. I've had a bad day, but I'm happy. So why do you do this? I'm doing this not only for me, but I'm doing this for you, because you may see this as, that's pretty neat, that's so different, and they'll go home and they'll talk about it. They'll get on the phone and talk to their wife or talk to their parents or whoever, cousins, relatives, and say, you know what I saw today? We were out at store XYZ, and I seen this crazy wild animal, like a real one? No, he's standing up. It was somebody in a costume. Like, I think they're called Furries, I don't know, something like that. And he called himself Munchkin. And oh, really? Well, then they show him a picture and says, oh my God, this is amazing. And they talk about it, and then I'll go back to the mall again. And sometimes I just wear partial, or wear just a tail or something. And they'll come, were you the one dressed the other day in this outfit? Yeah. We loved it. You made my day. So not only it's by doing this, what we love, we help others also make their day and help them and express by having love. We give love back out in a form of beautiful expressions and beauty. And it's just another way of putting magic, because fursuiting is magic. We can transform ourselves from a boring, normal day. Because I've had times that when I work shift work, like in engineering at an oil refinery, heavy oil upgrade, we had bad days. Things blew up, caught fire, we gasped. Like, there's been lots of problems we've had over the years, but we've always worked it out together as a team. And I found at the end of the day, you come home, you're still like, you're a human. You come home like, there's got to be more to life than just working and coming home, putting your feet up, watching TV, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, Munchkin's calling me upstairs. He wants me to suit up. So you go up there and, okay, fine, I'll put this crazy thing. As soon as you put the head on, it's like a light switch. Click. You're like, oh my God, the energy comes up. You're happy, you're excited. You want to go out and you want to do things. And you tour around. Maybe you do something silly. We went go-karting the other day, other week here, and you did it in suit, and people are walking by, they're stopping, they're getting videos of us, very much like VLFC. They let us actually go-kart with our fursuit heads on, which is amazing. I don't know how they did it, but they may get in trouble, but we got away with it. Or go to the mall or do something else like this to be different, because like everyday boring life, like the normal human existence is great. It's fun. The human condition is beautiful. It's creativity. It's being unique, different. We don't all want to be drones. The idea of everybody dresses the same. Everybody does the exact same thing. What a boring world we would live in if we all dressed in black and white and that was it. That's all we do. You work this time, you go here and do this. Conform. Everybody conform. No, furries don't conform. We are our own unique characters. We put creativity, beauty, and to everything we do. You see it, and you don't see a furry animal walking down in like a bipedal anthropomorphic character walking down the street every day. Also, in this neighborhood you might, but or your neighborhood too. There, Joshua, like who knows? But the or at cons, Anthro Northwest or Anthrocon or Coggies, little businesses, but there's all over. The outside the conventions, you can still be who you want to be and be able to like express yourselves. And like so that's why I kind of like doing panels on fursuiting outside a con. Because you can still, the fursuiting doesn't end at the con, or even being a furry. Like I keep saying fursuiting. Being a furry doesn't end outside the con. You can still express your artwork and the beauty of it, and it is an amazing field. But like I said, I don't know what your thoughts are on that too.
Well, it's just different.
It's
Just
different.
like going in being yourself. You're able to go and be yourself every day who you want.
Yeah.
I know with you and with myself, kind of as I start getting more into the furry fandom and everything, I had, because of that animalistic tendency,
Mhm.
I threw a collar on myself. You've got a collar on yourself.
Oh, yeah.
They're permanent. If you don't have that on, it kind of feels.
Oh, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've got this missing tail syndrome, like, or missing limb syndrome, I should say. I'll get it right yet. I wear a tail for years now. I've always had a tail on, and it's just something everybody's used to it. The family's used to it. Every neighbor's used to it. It means nothing now. It's like you dye your hair green, and you see your neighbor with green hair for 6 months. The neighbor comes up with green hair, a big deal. You've seen him with green hair. But I find if I take that tail off, or if I take my collar off, part of you is missing. It's like, this is part of you now. Like, this being in this stuff, I don't know what I would do without the furry fandom. Like, I don't think I could go back to just being like a runner and a cyclist like I used to do before I got into this stuff. I still love it, but it's missing. Part of my life was missing. I didn't realize how much joy being the whole furry fandom brought me. Like, going to a convention, meeting people like you. Like I said, that was the first time at Munchkin's Traveling Circus is where I first met you. And you kind of came out there and you were worried about going on stage and stuff. And I said, you know what? Don't worry. You've got a costume on. Nobody knows who you are. And then the more you do this stuff and being who you are, the human inside you is technically, in my mind, Mike is sitting over there watching Munchkin perform. He's not the one in the suit. Like, that Munchkin's real. Like, it's kind of the headspace you kind of create. You create this vision that you are actually this animal, and the human's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take the head off, it's like, like sometimes you can't take it anymore. You're so hot. I gotta get out of this thing. I'm dying. And Munchkin will say, okay, you take a break. You can take the stuff off. So Munchkin lets me take the suit off. I go dry off and have a water and a Coke or whatever, try and cool down. And you're smiling. Inside, he says, you know what, I had a good day. That was fun. And that's like, for being individual, I would say, yeah, just do what you want to do. Don't be afraid what others think. If somebody says to you, no, you can't do that. Don't be a furry. That's bad. Like, what? Okay, what is so wrong about expressing yourself, being who you want to be? And I find that we had a lot of people in our community that are very introverts. They won't come out of their house. They stay inside. They type like mad on the computer. Like, they're a lot of times they bully through on the computer, some of them. And I says, okay, no. But when you get them outside in, like, face to face, they're quiet. They don't want to talk. They don't want to do anything, and they don't want to go out. They don't want to do anything. But I found the fandom got a lot of people to come out of their shell, to actually become, to actually leave their basement, parents' basements, come to an event. They didn't have a costume on, but some of them did. Some of them, they were like, I won't come out. Can I borrow one of yours? They're Munchkin. I said, oh, sure. So I'll hand them a head or something like that. They put it on, and it's like a light switch. They didn't want to take the suit off. At the end of the day, they thanked me, and I said, oh my God, can you please help me make a suit? So then they come over, and like, that's what we're doing tonight. We're having a big fursuit building panel tonight. So
Nice.
I got a bunch of furries coming over tonight. That's I kind of want to get this interview over, and then we can start building again. But I would encourage you, like, if you're going to start off, by all means, you can find online costumes if you want. You can do artwork if you want. But I encourage you to build your own.
Yeah.
Be creative. Like, try it. And there's lots of sites out there to show you how to do it. And ask your parents. A lot of times, mom or dad can both sew. Maybe your brothers, sisters can sew, or they friends. They'll help you, and you draw out an idea of what you want to be.
You're helping me currently with my head. So,
Yeah,
for example, this bullion head, for me to kind of start with him and everything, to actually get more on the fursuit side, this is truthfully a Halloween mask.
Yeah, but it's a store bought. But now you want to make it more creative
and everything. But now I've developed my identity. I've developed who I am.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Now it's time to upgrade. It's time to basically come out of that cocoon that I was in and let my true colors show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you you get a tattoo or something like this, that's permanent. Like if you take this thing, if I take the head off, I can walk down the street and you cannot tell me from an average person. There's no way, we're just regular Joe Blow, like regular humans.
However, you probably wish that you could keep the head on.
Oh, I want to keep this on. I like this because this helps me express myself more. But but this is, I find, give it a try. See what you think about like the fandom. Like, just take a look at it. Go online. There's good and bad in both, like in the fandom. Like it's like with any field that you go to. You look at hockey, there's good and bad. Football, there's good and bad. Everything, there's good and bad. But look at the good side. There's by far more benefits, more positives, more support. We do tend to want to, like, there's chat stuff. We tend to work as a family. We help one another. I find a lot of it. People have a bad day, and we'll try and, okay, well, come on over. Like, because we're such a small community, at least here, and I guess most areas, the furry fandom is still a very small niche part of the population so far. It's growing one tail at a time. We're going to take over the world yet. Just wait.
One day.
One tail at a time. We're slowly growing the furry fandom, getting it bigger, more developed, and in turn, we help support one another. If you have a bad day, somebody's lost a pet, or you lost a job, or you're depressed, you know what? Sometimes you're just down, and you can't take, like, life is just beating you, and you've had it. Coming out and just going online and chatting, go VR, chat, whatever, meet face to face. The furries have a tendency a lot of times to kind of help one another, support one another. We're family. We're animal family. Like, it's like, so I'll be supporting a bull who's be supporting, like, technically like a fox, and I might be having one of my predators might be over there, but we don't fight each other. But we're still a family, and we try and help one another, try and build each other up. And that's what the whole idea of the furry fandom is. And I strongly hope others would do the same thing, is build your community, be positive. And, like, I've had people ask me, how do you get away with it? Because you go to a store, people come up to you, they want to get pictures, they're smiling. I go somewhere and people are yelling at me to get out of the store, do the stuff, but it's how you express yourself. You want to express yourself if you show a real positive spin. Yes. You want to be like happy, bouncy, and then like really joyful, not really sad. People feed off your energy. It's like a battery. The more the more you kind of give, like in this battery, it charges others. You give off a little bit of a positive vibe, they're attracted. So the world itself has been under a lot of turmoil lately, and it's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And it hurts us too. Like, I can't go to a fur con. It's like at the Northwest. I love this con and I can't go again. But this is our way of helping back. But I find anything to do to kind of help relieve some of that day-to-day stress, boredom, stuff like this, by expressing yourself as another character, being, whatever, is a way of being making the world a better place. And that's what we all want to do. We want to have, at the end of the day, at the end of time, you still want to say, you know what, you're up at the Golden Gates, and they come down. Did you make a difference? What did you do in your life? You know what? This person over here, guy, gal, they, them. All I did is I worked, I made money, and I had $1 million in the bank. Great. Did you make people happy? No. You over here, what did you do? I tried my life. I did everything, but I did my best. I'm not saying being a furry is the way to go, but I made people happy. I made an old lady to a young child smile. I did my best to make somebody else's day better every day. Try a little bit, and you'll find it's. And don't just say, you know what, you made a difference. That's, at the end of the day, you want to look at yourself and are you happy with yourself? Have you done something that actually benefited one another? Don't look at just ourselves, but look at others. Have you done something to make somebody else feel better? Yeah. And if they did, then I would say, okay, you've done a difference. You made a difference. You've changed the world. And like I said, we do it one tail at a time. you like I said, I always call it the pay it forward thing. Like people, you'll help somebody out, and oh, can I help you here? I'll pay you. No. I did something for you. It's a one-way thing. You help somebody else, totally random. I don't care who it is. You'll find this will come around. There's been times I've been down, and I've like had a bad day. The market's dropped, whatever. This thing broke. Car broke down. Somebody's like even when my mom passed away, it was like I felt so bad. Like I was like, oh my God, like I'm done. I've had it. Somebody will come up to me, like one of the furries will say, yeah, do you want to talk? Do you want to have like, so they're consoling me, and as you know, at the end of the day, you felt better. It helped. We all work together, and that's what like the individual being, individuality of the furry fandom is more than just the costumes, the art, and everything else. Like it's family unity, being one in a community of crazy anthropomorphic characters that can express love and be. You just want to smile.
Everybody is a piece of that puzzle. Everybody's different on that puzzle.
Yes.
Whether it's your edges, your colors, you name it.
Yeah. Like
everybody's different, but at the end of the day, whenever that puzzle is being built out and everything,
it's not complete without you.
Right. And it's whenever it is with you in there, everybody there, you finally get to see that great, big, beautiful picture.
It is, yeah, and that's a nice way of saying it. It's a beautiful way of saying it because we're all a piece of it. There's not one furry here that, oh my God, I'm this much of the puzzle. No, you're this little piece, this piece, this piece, and we all together as a family, we make this amazing, beautiful. Like you said, you go online, you see these what the fandom looks like when you get hundreds of us together, thousands of us together for group photos, or even as a family helping one another, not just in the physical sense, but even the emotional sense, the ability to help one another through stress and everything else. I guess it's just another way of expressing yourself.
And nowadays, there's so much more opportunity to go and help support one another on that aspect. We've now got Zoom. We've got you've got still cell phones, telephones,
technologies.
It's a lot easier now than kind of where the furry fandom history was, where it was IRC and
you go 20 years
all
ago.
The chat rooms and everything, where it was such a small community. Now let's let your identity out, let it grow, and help bring in all of our furry family members.
Yeah. 100%, yeah.
I really like the idea of just how much it has changed since a long time ago. Like,
but when I took 10 years ago till today, it's amazing. Like there was again, you go back 15 years ago to the CSI episode, which we're not going to talk about. It was very negative on the furry fandom.
Yes.
We're probably our own worst critics on this. Nobody knows about this episode unless we bring it up. Because it's forgotten about. Like, who remembers a show 15 years ago, especially one episode? Nobody remembers it, but we bring it up. So they go, well, we got to look it up. Oh my God! But if you watch it now, and it's not that bad. But it was because the whole society on TV has gotten way worse. Like you watch a TV show now, it's depressing. So I don't even like looking at a lot of shows other than some space shows. I got to watch those. But exactly, like the fandom is and it's the nice part of it. We come out of the closet. We used to be kind of a hidden, really subculture group of like anthropomorphic, like the original cat ferns down in California back in 87, 86. I think it was the very first one. It was basically a small group of people that were part of the Comic-Con circuit that had a love of anthropomorphic characters, and they were, but it was still kind of a closet, small group. Nobody knew about it, and then they wanted, we got to keep it quiet. We don't want anybody to know about us. By keeping it quiet, what ends up happening, everybody, there's a group over here. What do they do? I don't know, but it's secret, so it must be bad, and that in turn fueled a lot of negative impressions on the furry fandom. By becoming more, and that's why I tell a lot of people, be very open, be very expressive, and be honest. If they ask you a question about us, tell them exactly this is how it is. And they'll say, you know what, that sounds actually kind of fun. I have, again, by being, and then showing in a positive light, they all, like, people look at it and, and then they'll come out to an event and they'll see what it is. Like, we'll play Cards Against Humanity, or we'll play a bowling game, or whatever, go for Dairy Queen for ice cream, some crazy, whatever. Again, it's a community event, it's a family event, a way of being, like, showing our individuality to others, that, this is what we want to be. I'm comfortable with it. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be a furry. I want to, like, I will wear this head, and I'll take it off, and I'll put it right there, and somebody looks at you, and most of them smile. 1%, maybe half of 1% may just shake their head, and whatever, they don't get it, but that's their prerogative. They may like something totally different, and that's fine. But don't worry of what others think. Do what you think you would like to do. Do what you want to make, what makes you happy. If whatever it is in life, no matter what it is, like, if it's a job, you don't like your job, leave it. Go to a place you like to work. Do you like to do the art? You do artwork, you're really good at it, but you don't like it. Well, then if you don't like it, stop doing it. But I found the fandom, it's the more I got into it, the more I learned about from, like, deep psychological benefits from the spirituality of the whole fandom, where you actually, I used to do panels on that too, on actually just discovering who your inner spirit animal is. They do, our First Nations group here used to do, like, you go to a sweat lodge sometimes, and depending on where you go, down in the southern states, they'll have the First Nations groups, and they'll have other techniques in going this. Africa has different techniques in this. Every group throughout millenniums had means of allowed you to go into a trance state to try and find out who your inner guide is. It might be a slug, it might be a ferocious lion, but whatever that guide is, that is we call it here, at least in Canada, we call it your spirit animal. Some it's your spirit guide, some it's another character altogether. A lot of people say, oh my God, like, you're getting too weird. But no, I'm not saying physically, yes, there's a fox in me, no. But it's more of a psychological tie to who you want to be. Like, what's your style? What's your character? Do you find, as an individual, are you laid back, like, relaxed? You want to be in a group setting, kind of like your dog does all the time. Your dog wants to stay in a pack. He wants to sit around, be with his buddies, sit around, put your feet up, have a couple beer, watch the football game. Well, you might be a pup. You may find you're like me. I was a trickster. I did a lot of practical jokes.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way.
I know. I used to do all these things at work, and people just hated it, but it was funny. I was not destructive. I was always doing little things. So I found a lot of my personality inside me was more like on the fox side, and then being more. I didn't want to be in a pack. I found I was more like a cat. That I found I like to go on my own, and I did my own thing. I didn't care. If you didn't like what I did, that's your loss. I don't care. I'm doing what I do to make me feel happy. And in turn, so I said, okay, what's a fox and a cat? And then I've always wanted to express myself. Like, I wanted to kind of stand out. And I found, I want to be like more extrovert. I always wanted to be more than who I was. How do I express myself? So let's get some really wild colors. Plus, it was on sale at the fabric store. So, and I looked at it, and you can't get any wilder than these colors. So then, next thing you know, Munchkin was created, and I fell in love with them, and I just used them for forevermore. But some things are meant to be. Some things fate guides you. It guides everybody to go to a certain direction in life that may guide you into becoming fantastic at this or fantastic at that. For me, I was guided over this way for like engineering, working, stuff like that, building, and then I'm kind of happy it turned. And I kind of went more to the artistic side where you end up the creativity side from being, it has to look exactly like it is on TV to being, no, I want to be my own unique style, my own creation. And the fandom allows me, like you won't see at a FurCon, or hopefully you won't see it at a FurCon, every single furry is totally unique. You won't see a single furry that looks the same. Yeah. Hopefully, there be some subtle changes that are like, you may get a company that makes the same design, but the ears might be different color, nose might be different color, a little extra bling, but it's the same shape. But that's okay, it's the mold.
Let's even look at some of the builders that are out there. There's some builders out there who are now designing their own species.
Oh yeah.
The only limit nowadays for your own identity is now your imagination.
Yes.
And then we've got the wonderful builders.
Oh.
Yes. So many wonderful builders that are now.
Yeah, bow down.
I get blown away. I look at these things every time I get better. I think, oh yeah, I'm getting really good. And I look at these other builders like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get that good. But
practice makes perfect.
It gives us incentive to push ourselves. It's you never want to be at the top of your game. You always want to have, like, you'll never ever be the best at anything. There's always somebody better. So that's what I find with these, like with the builders and even the artists. Like you get some of these artists out there, like, oh my God, these are amazing. And like you see it on TV, the cartoons with Disney, Pixar, all these other ones, these artworks or these animated creations they're beautiful. Like I said, I keep going back to Zootopia because furries. I like that. That was my favorite show.
We're at an amazing time nowadays for your creativity to really grow.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought 10 years ago, who thought that they would have been able to go and, you know what, I've got this idea. I'm going to 3D design it, CAD, and then 3D print it.
There wasn't a 3D printer. 3D. Well, there may have been in some science lab. But.
Yeah. But nowadays it's, hey, I want to see how this character will look. I'm going to print it out. I'm going to build it. I want to do that because that's who I believe I am.
And the beauty, like I kind of touched a little on the other interview I said before too, is the furry fandom. Everybody thinks it was only started in around 86, 87 with the very first FurCon in California. But it's been the idea of wearing an animal costume, or trying to connect with your inner spirit animal, that goes back millenniums. There's like says you can go back and like there's some of the earliest forms of anthropomorphic creation was one in Mesopotamia. They unearthed it was actually a full size, looked like a fox standing up on his legs, ears to like a tail, everything. It looked kind of like our creations we do now, but it's over 30,000 years old. And tribes throughout millenniums look to people would actually put on an animal costume to connect to the spirit guide to lead their tribe to become better. So a lot of times the leaders of the community were the ones that were dressed up like animals. And then we somehow lost our ways. There was a time probably from maybe the 20s, maybe, I don't know, well, there was still a little bit of that, maybe up to like the 70s, 80s, there was a time nobody ever wore, like the only time if you wore fur was maybe to be a high society, you had a jacket on or something like this, but it was real fur and it got shunned and it lost its meaning. And now I'm thinking furries themselves have brought some of that back. We brought back something that was in the human trait that it was, humans always want to have something that's better than us, like another figure that we look to, like be it aliens flying around, be it spiritual beings, be it whatever else. We want to have something that we can kind of connect to that's bigger than ourselves. And so a lot of times if you go back 500 years or 1,000 years ago, people would wear costumes, get themselves into this state of mind through meditation and stuff like this to try and connect to this inner animal. And people thought, oh my, this is amazing. This is so, and that was kind of probably, if you want to go back to the, like I said, the early forms of anthropomorphics, there is nothing else in the world that even gets close to the age, the longevity of what we're doing right now. We're just bringing back what was always out there, but we're doing it, like I said, with creativity, the colors. They never had these colors in the 1800s. Sparkles? No, probably not. So things have improved. They didn't have fans, cooling vests, all those other ways of building stuff like that. And it took forever. They use real animals. No, nowadays, no. This is all plastic. This is all oil, petroleum products. So.
So one question I have, so like, furries were really big in the past, but I was just wondering, what do you think is going to happen in the future with furries? Like, which direction do you think they're going?
It's still growing. I find that our community, at least here and other places I've noticed, we were growing at an average, like at a normal FurCon, going in the States, I don't know what the stats in Canada were, but it was averaging, well, before pre-COVID. Right now, everything's kind of in the air. but it was averaging going up like 10 to 15% a year was the growth rate. It was amazing. I'm not going to say we're going to take everything over. Eventually it may plateau, but I still see in Regina here, at least in Saskatchewan, the places that I deal with, that I have direct contact personally with, the growth in the community is still growing. We're still gaining. And I've been seeing improvements in not only if you go back in the 1980s and you look at the costumes versus what they look like now, you can't compare them. Like the detail, like this, because we share knowledge. The beauty of YouTube.
We're growing on the shoulders of those who have come before us.
Yes, 100%.
Who have built their identity and are helping us build our own.
Yeah, they've raised the bar, and our goal was to get to that bar and then bump it up a little bit more. And then they come along, the next generation comes in here, and I'm hoping that they're going to take over and bump the bar up a little bit higher. I see the community getting better. I see the community helping out the community more, because I find when I'm out in public, everybody loves it. Like they think it's like 99.9% of people, this is amazing. Thank you for doing this. They want you involved. They want the things, you help one another. People look at this thing from the young to the old, to the young at heart, I guess is what you want to call it. They love the beauty of it. I can see the fandom getting bigger. But like you said, everything changes.
Yes.
We are like lately now, what's really changing lots, because you're not really physically able to get together like we're doing now with Zoom meetings, but VR is becoming bigger now. Virtual reality, people are having full complete conventions now in virtual. And you put these headsets on and you can get your persona, get an artist who's good at creating stuff digitally for you. You can create your costume, and we're evolving. And that's what you want. If you become a group that's stagnant, you have to stay here. It will die. It won't survive. The more that we keep expressing ourselves and expanding and adapting as things present itself. COVID came in here. The furries didn't die off because of COVID's here. We may be separated by miles. We can't see each other. Like even the borders. We can't cross the borders. States and Canada, we're still closed. I'm stuck up here north. But we can still communicate, and furries are amazing through like telegrams, Zoom, like all these other Twitter, whatever else you want. You can chat back and forth. We communicate electronically, and the beauty is the furries are young. Average demographic is what, 18 to 25, roughly?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And so
some furry muscles out there.
Yeah, I'm one. But the average age is young, and they're the ones that are able to adapt and change and grow, and their creativity. Like I said,
Yes.
the generation before raised the bar. Each generation comes along, and every year you see the bar improving. And it's not only just through skills, sharing knowledge, helping one another. That's all part of it. But as a family, as a community, as a whole, we all represent a little cog or that piece of that puzzle you brought in. And that puzzle is getting bigger. The pencil was this big, this big, this big. And it's getting bigger. Like, don't be afraid of the puzzle. The puzzle parts of it may fall off, but then another big chunk comes back on. But I can definitely see the fandom getting, growing and becoming more expression, more unique, and more beautiful, and helping one another. Like, I'd like to see the fandom, to me, I would like to see the fandom get more involved again, but I like doing a lot of community events. I like to see furries helping, not just having like, yeah, we all have parties, we want to have fun, do stuff like this, but I would like you to go out and help a charity. Contact a local organization, be it a humane society, a dog, cat rescue, whatever, like a hospital, a church, whatever, and ask, what can I do to help you? I will find I've been volunteering for decades now, and I find everybody always asks me, why are you doing this? Why are you going out spending all these hours helping the Wish Foundation or doing the museums or other stuff like this? And like, what do you get out of it? Like, you're not getting paid. Why are you doing this? You don't do it for the payment. It's kind of hard to describe. And when you help somebody and you see the joy and what they've done and how it's made somebody smile, you receive that back tenfold.
It's that natural high.
It is. It's a natural high. I'm saying I'm being selfish. I'm doing this to make me feel better. I don't care if as long as you look happy, long as it makes me think you're happy, I'm happy. I want to do this. I'm only doing all this stuff because I feel good, and that's how it's about.
Yes, and use your interests. Everybody has something that they're good at. Let that expression come out. Let that help go and build and expand. There are people who are out there who will say, I can't sew, I can't draw, I can't do any of this stuff.
I couldn't sew. I had no idea how to sew when I started.
But there are also those who, we need that person who, hey, I want to do this. I don't know how to do any of this. Is there anybody out there who's willing to help me go and find that identity and help me build that identity? At which point, hey, we never thought about that. Yes, I can do this. I can help. We start supporting our family members, one another.
Yeah, but that's how society should be. We should be here to help one another. That's the human race. Should be helping one one person at a time. Everybody helps one another. Think of how beautiful this world would be if everybody. You didn't have no more wars, no more fighting, no more complaints, no more hatred. Everybody sat around and had this. Think of this beautiful world would be like if people would help one another. You would be here, like you walk outside, you feel safe. There's something wrong, neighbors would lend a helping paw to help you. Like the world it's a beautiful place we live in, and we just have to kind of get people to come out of their shells and express themselves and show this. We live in an amazing time. There has never been a better time in. Well, this COVID thing's going to pass. Another 6 months from now, we're not going to say what your president used to say, but this thing will pass, and you'll remember 5 years, 2 years, 6 months from now, you'll think back, oh my God, I'm glad this is done. But how we handle a fall, that's what the beauty is. That's what life is. When we fall down, how do we handle it? Do we just get up, do we kick the tail, move around, or do we stand up stronger and better? And that's what furries are doing. Sometimes they may push us down, we get back up, we help one another, we get back up, and we're stronger for it. And again, each one of us offers a little bit of benefit. If some of us stuff we're explaining helps somebody listening to this video, you know what, that's not a bad idea. You've got some good points. If it helps one person, that's all I want. It's worth it. I did it, I'm happy. Like I said, that's all I want. And like I said, if that person, if it helps 2 or more, hey, the more the better. But I think if our goal in life is not to, and first the furry identity and everything like that is not just who we want to be with ourselves, but like this is that we made a difference, and we're going to do it in a furry, fuzzy way of doing it. And this is a different way. We all have a way of doing stuff, and this is for us, for me. This is how I like to do stuff. I do things. This is my own unique stuff. This is the way I like to do it. And well.
One thing I was just like, so you've talked about just how great like it is to go out and do charities and stuff like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who would love to do that. But I was just wondering, like, what you would say to the people who like they struggle, like that they're very shy and they really want to help out, but they're kind of not comfortable going out and doing it. Like, what are some ways that you think would help them?
Yeah, that's where a group comes in. Like when you're individual, you're trying to get out into your community. If you think you're alone, you're in a small town, whatever, and you don't know any other furries, you think, oh, I like this anthropomorphic, I'm a furry, but there's nobody around me. I might be the only one. You're not. Believe me. Everywhere. Furries are every corner of the globe right now. I would say try and, your best bet is try and find another person in the community in your area. Somebody that you can actually talk to. And a lot of times going to a charity is tough. Like if you want to try and help them. But a lot of times if you want to help charity XYZ and you email them, phone them up, do whatever you want to do and say, you know what, hey, I would like to help out to volunteer. Oh, please, please, please come. But time out. I want to be an entertainer. Like if I'm going to be in a costume, I want to come out there as, I tell a lot of people, when you're starting off, if you're worried about being known as a furry, call yourself an independent mascot performer. And I love that terminology because then you're saying, Oh, he's a mascot. Oh, mascots are cool. I know them. My sports team has one of those. The school has one. I remember being in the school football team as their mascot. It was amazing. It was so cool. Sure, come on out. So you put on a whatever kind of animal costume you want, or none if you just want to be in the human form. Help come on out, and you'll find by doing a little bit gets you out of your shell. You don't have to do big steps, baby steps, little bit at a time. And then even if you just come out and just help out a little bit organizing stuff, guess what? You met 3, 4 people, maybe 5 or 6. Nowadays you'll be under a mask and maybe 6 feet apart, but you met them and you contact them, you got to know them, and then you come home and then you start chatting online. You become friends. You may not, but you might. And if the charity doesn't work out, hey, there's thousands of them. So do your little bit of part that you can to help a charity that find something you find interest. Like for you, you find electronics. If they're doing an electronics seminar and they're looking for volunteers to kind of help with it, you'd probably love to do this. Like a hackers group like this is, oh yeah, I'm in.
It's amazing. I also find the other thing is, like you were asking about, like those who are shy and may not be able to express themselves, or just don't feel like as if they're able to publicly express themselves. It's like eating an elephant. Little bits at a time.
I guess it's going to take me a while, but you can do it.
It's a different size elephant or hippo.
Yeah.
Up here in Canada, we've got the house hippo.
Yeah.
But it's do it at your pace as you feel comfortable. If you want to dive, just right in, head first. Be our guest. And we will be there to go and help support you, help you learn, help you experience. Because we want to support one another. We want it to grow. And that's a goal that we believe every furry should have, is we want to see the fandom grow. We want to see that new, shining, beaming face.
And if you're nervous and scared, don't be. We're here. We're here to support you. We're family. Don't be nervous about it. We just come and talk to us. Well, like it says, if pre-COVID and after COVID, we love hugs. Well, ask first. Always ask first. But come on by. We'll invite you into the fandom. We will tell you about it. We're very open. We want to tell you everything that we do. Like we're a very sociable group. And also, you go from being stuck in your basement, you don't want to do anything, to, this is kind of fun. They're talking to me. And then you start chatting and, oh my goodness, this is fun. I want to do this. And then next thing you know, you're helping other things. And then you may even find as you're happy, your grades improve in school. Your health improves because you may be saying, I'm depressed. And also, like, you don't want to get off the couch. You're just sitting there and gloomy and life is horrible. And all of a sudden, you're happy, you're smiling. And then everything, your body wants to be happy. The human condition wants to be happy. And you'll find it will make you feel better. Everything improve. People will see you. Hey, such and such is way better lately. What happened? What changed in this individual? He's coming out. He's helping people. He's getting more expression. And that's what we need to do. If you know somebody in your community that might be interested in the fandom or is a furry and may be down, talk to them, email them, send them a message, phone them up, invite them over for coffee or ice cream, whatever, and see if you can get them back into the community again. Like, do your part. There's been so many, people's lives have actually been saved because of the furry fandom. They found people were suicidal. I've talked to people before too. Says, you know what, I've had it. I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. My life sucks. I got nothing to live for. And then I'm not saying furries did it, but it's being there for them, listening to their problems. And they also, like, I don't like doing that all the time because this kind of makes me down too. But we try and work with them to try and see what we can do. And like I said, baby steps, like eating the elephant, little bit at a time, get them to come back. And we got to try and see if they can help themselves. And that's what the individuality of it is. You want to be like, try and be, who do you want to be? You're not happy with your life. What is your direction goal? You want to be from here to there. Okay, what do you see yourself? What needs to get changed from this state to this state Well, I need to do this, 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 and this. Okay, that's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's work on this one. That's the easiest. And let's make that happen. And all of a sudden, you know what? They did it.
Yeah.
Now they're happy. That's improved their personality, their individualism, and they found, you know what? This made a difference in my life. I feel better. You know what? These other 10 things, I can do that. And they do. And the next thing you know, they're not, well, they may still be a slight, like depression is a tough one to battle, but you may find you can cope with it. You may find through exercise, through other activities, arts, whatever you want to do, might be your way of releasing rather than doing like any kind of chemical treatments or whatever. I'm not saying take whatever your doctor says, but you may find that there's another way. And every little step gets you to your goal. And then once you get to your goal, it's just, you know what, I did it. This is amazing. But you know what, I can do better. I set the bar here. I was here. I'm here now. You know what? I can set the bar here. I can be better. And I want to try and help somebody else out. And I want to make a difference in my life. So at the end, I can say, you know what? I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I made a difference. I did something that nobody else does. Nobody puts these crazy suits on, walks around. Like I said, a friend of mine was saying that one time he got asked about a job interview, and he was told to wear the most expensive suit he has to go to this job interview. He says, well, okay, I got this $200 fancy suit I bought, or this $2,000 fursuit. Which one should I wear there, much? You get like, yeah, the fursuit is the most expensive suit you got, but you want the job, let's just stick with this one here. So, but it's always the way of trying to keep a positive spin on everything and try and see what you can do to make a difference with it.
So I know we're running out of time, but one final thing I really wanted to go over, especially to all the furs that like are here, you know, with their parents, and what would you say to parents who want to get involved, but they don't know how to get involved?
There's lots of stuff on websites about it. Like they tell you how to contact it. I would say contact a community group in your area. If you like any XYZ town, city, and community, find out if there's a club, a furry community in your area. Then contact them and like either Facebook, Twitter, whatever, because you have to find these individuals first, and then ask them, can we like my daughter? I want to know what is this about? You can find stuff online, but a lot of times just there's good and bad online, depending on what you end up looking for. But there's groups, like I said, I brought up the one group out of the International Anthropomorphic Research Foundation out of the University of Waterloo. Dr. Nuka, again, I didn't get permission to use their name, so hopefully they don't mind. But they've done a research. There were a whole study group on, it was a psychological profile group. They had academic funding and stuff like this and grant money from the Canadian government to do studies on furries, the psychological benefits. And they have a website called Fur Science. And on that website, they have links for parents they can click on that actually have, like, and one of the links is like, what do I do? My child's a furry. What is this bad, wrong? And what do I do? And it explains to them what the furry fandom actually is. It's nothing to be scared of. It's a beautiful way of creativity. If your child is found furries, fantastic. But be there, like anything, any parent, be involved. Watch with your children. Get online with them. Work with them with these communities, because that's with everything. There's good and bad. So you want to have them, direct them on a positive aspect. And like that website will actually kind of explain to you quite a bit of ways of actually how the fandom works. And then once you kind of realize furries are pretty cool, this is actually kind of a neat cosplay. It's beautiful cosplay. My kids want to be furries. This isn't that bad. You know what? I can sleep now. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. Like I thought I was going to take my kid to counseling. There's nothing to be scared of.
No.
It's perfectly fine. It's a form of expression. And then once you realize it's not that bad, then contact the groups and see if they do charity groups. Some groups don't. Some fur groups, all they do is they want to have parties. They got together, yeah, we're having a big drinking party. Well, that's okay, whatever. That's for the older furries. They can do this stuff, and it's fun. But other groups, they want to do community involvement. They want to get involved like our group, or Living Skies Furs, or SAS Furries here in Saskatchewan here. Living Skies Furs on Facebook we have events all the time, and we'll be posting like Santa Claus Day parades, pride parades. We might be doing a bowling meets and ice cream meets. We might be getting involved
we did
with
Halloween.
Halloween fundraiser at the Victoria Square Mall here in Regina. We have this. We do a lot of events for, and then once people get the word out that we do these things, the community tends to get other groups saying, hey, we got some really good performers here. A lot of us have to get, like, again, I get involved with government organizations, so you have to get background checks, stuff like this, and it's just fine. So you present all the information, you talk to these organizers, and they say, yeah, okay, you guys are professional. We want you. And then you act as a representative to the community. You kind of contact community. We're setting up events. A lot of times people work, they can't come. But parents, a lot of times, they say, you know what, they're doing an event at the museum. I think that's pretty safe. I like to see my little daughter tag along. So they get her some ears, maybe a tail or something like that. She goes out there, she's running around, or he's running around, them running around. They're having a great time. And okay, this is good. I like it. And that's how it happens, little bit at a time. But parents, get involved. Don't just let your children run off into this stuff. Like the internet is a beautiful but also a dangerous place, and you need supervision for everything, and that's what we want you to do: is supervise, work with them, encourage your children and help them. Don't shun them, but help them become who they want to be. And you know what? By helping them, okay, this is their dream. They may not want to be a furry 5 years from now, but at the time they did. But what it did is to develop their brains that they can do anything they want. You know what? I always wanted to be a ballerina, so you became a ballerina. You always want to be a furry, and then 5 years later, they turn into a doctor. They turn into a lawyer. And you know what? That was part of my past. I'm not a furry anymore, but it's got me on the road to where I am now. It helped molded me. And we're just, like I said, we're just a little piece of that big, beautiful life puzzle. And every little piece is a guide at the end. This is how it happened. And hopefully, what I'm trying to, like, the fandom hopefully sets you in a positive aspect to this goal that you want to be. But you have to work on it. It's not easy. You're not going to get there by, I joined the fandom, I'm going to be a doctor tomorrow. No. You got to work at this stuff. It's not, that's how life is. You have to help and do your part to make it happen. If that answers your question. Or if you don't.
Yeah. Oh, so like I really appreciate you guys for doing this. So before we end this, is there any like closing remarks, like anything that like you're like, how's your lives going in the furry fandom right now?
Well, it's been good. It's like I'd like to get up more. I'm missing the interaction. Like, we're still limited by COVID, the numbers of people that you can kind of get to. Things like what we're doing now is very much appreciative, because we can kind of communicate more, get involved, and that gives me a chance to put Munchkin on, and he can go out there and talk to the masses. But no, like here, it's been good. I've been not having any issues with it all. There's no, I can't travel. I want to go see my friends everywhere, and you really can't go anywhere. So that part is bad, but it's opening up other opportunities to build more suits and do stuff I've been putting off. You know what? I can fix that later. I can build that later. I can, like this fur head, for example. It was the original Munchkin 1.0 was 7 years old. I had about 2,500 to 3,000 hours of fursuiting time on it. It was so worn out that I said, you know what? I've stopped wearing it. I started wearing 2.0, and then I thought, you know what am I going to do with this whole thing? Well, I can't go anywhere right now. Let's just rebuild it. And so it opens up every problem. You've got to come with it and look at the problem. Okay, here's the thing. I can't do anything. What are you going to do about it? I can't change time. I can't go to a parallel universe where COVID never happened. So I'm going to sit here and say, okay, what can I do? When I got this problem, I'm going to match it and do something and make it do what I can do to make it better. So we're planning Fur Camp next year already.
Oh, yes.
We're planning for the best, hoping for the best, and like I said, plan for the best. And like if it gets canceled, well, whatever. We're still, you got to keep being positive and happy, because this will be over. This will pass.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to help everybody. Hopefully, like you said, you learn when you fall down, you get up and you dust off your paws, shake your tail, and you know what? Yeah, I won't do that again, but we're going to keep going forward and make a difference in life and do your best. And that's what we're trying to do. Take every step at a time, one paw at a time, and raise a head.
It also, I've found like recently, it's given me time to kind of relive some of the memories
Yeah.
that has helped build myself and everything. I remember a couple of years ago going out shooting with you and a bunch of others out to the legislature, and there was a great big family that was a lot of Hindu.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. They loved it.
Oh, and I had bullying out there, and just because of their culture, I remember going and holding this young baby, and
I'm so nervous. Don't touch it, don't drop it. Yeah, very careful.
But it's a part of my identity. It's a memory that has made me love being in the fandom because you're all of a sudden, it's hard to explain correctly until you're in that situation. Yeah. But those are the memories that you start to relive over and over, and you want to get more of. You want to have.
But we were burning out. I was going too fast. There was too much. We were just go, go, go. We had cons, we had events, we got panels. I was getting kind of tired of it even. I needed we need to slow down. This is kind of a nice period. You know what? The whole world needed to slow down. We were all just wound up and just, we gotta go to town. We're just burning ourselves out. Okay, everybody slow down, take a breather, realize what we're doing. And like you said, you go back, relive memories of what we did. Like in a previous interview, like I told you about in the hospital visits we used to do, there's times they're like, oh my God, you did make a difference. And you may forget, you know, like, why am I doing this? And then you think back, look back, you know what? Yeah, we did make a difference. We changed people's lives. And that's what it's about. It's being happy, enjoying yourself, making a difference, making another person's life better, and just moving forward and doing the best, and like having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, and that's what this is about.
This is super fun.
Like having your tails wagging and like people, and don't really worry what others think. As long as, like I said, you're having fun, that's what matters. And just enjoy the day, and like I said, see how she goes.
Yeah. Well, thanks again. Like for all of you from Anthem Northwest, I really hope that you're enjoying your time with the VR. Like I'm super excited. I'm gonna be there. Are you two gonna be there?
Oh, you betcha. We'll be watching. I don't know if I'm gonna have a VR headset yet because there's going to be VRs. I'm trying to find one. I don't know what to look for yet, but I'll be online watching it. So, and I'll try and see what I can do for typing, and like I don't know if I'm not really sure the whole structure, what's going to happen yet. But when this video is being played, it's already happening. So this will be old news. When we're filming this is still early November when this is being filmed. So this is a while yet. So things will change. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to see you guys again. I get to see all my friends again.
I know, yeah, it's gonna be super fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. But thank you very much. Thanks for this interview. I enjoyed it, and well, Munchkin says goodbye and.
Thank you for bullying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Moonrazer. Have a good rest of your convention, guys. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.